The first show I played was for a friend. He had a little party and I DJ'd on a laptop, like literally with the mouse. I was making music my whole life, and I just started DJing because that was the only real way to express my music to a larger crowd. And then I had my own little like show in front of like 200, 300 people where I had a little controller, so I kind of started. And then a few weeks later, you know, Skrillex brought me on tour. That was a pretty big step. Since I made a lot of this album in the studio, I just had a keyboard and I was always playing. I would take a random sound and just start playing until I found an interesting chord progression. And then I would try to find the right sound for that, and then I will make melodies around that. So this album is for the biggest part based on music, not on sound design, although I spent a lot of time doing that. And there's other songs on the album where I try to do just the opposite. There's one specific song where I built little, like 16 bars riffs, and I actually made a list and tried them to make them all work together. So basically you could mix them up the way you want. It would always have to sound right. That was kind of my task. I just did it for fun, and then it turned out being very interesting and different from what I usually would do. But usually I would just play around with chords and then start a song based on the break or the chorus. I don't remember ever starting a song on the drop. There's a lot of parts that I just kind of, it's hard to explain, but I did them the same way I would do it in the band. You know, when we were in the band, we were always doing things together, and you don't arrange a track and you're done. You actually arrange single instruments and make them work together. It's a little easier in dance music because usually you will have a 4-on-the-floor kick, so there's already a big part gone. Yep. But like for example in Spectrum, the way you could play Spectrum with a band easily. And I think that without, maybe subconsciously, you would always do things a little differently if you played instruments or in a band before and had the focus on a song structure and on riffs, you know, not necessarily on a sound, but on a riff, on a motive that you try to make a song out of. You know. Most people in the industry are not able to separate the sound from the music. For example, my father is a great musician, and you know, obviously I learned a lot from him, but just because he's not used to electronic music, he never listened to that, he's not able to tell, is this song bad or is it just sounding bad, but the song is actually really good. In order to impress people as an unknown person, as an unknown producer, you kind of have to have a good sound, you know, because that's what stands out the most. If you listen to Skrillex, no matter if you heard him before or not, the first reaction will be, whoa, the mix is incredible. It's like everywhere, it's like right here, and it's so clean and it's impressive. And then you start listening to the rest, but it has to get your attention. Naturally, I would say it is very important to have a good sound, and you will not get a good sound by reading books. You will get a good sound, in my opinion, by producing a lot. You will learn from yourself and you will find your own way. The way I found my own way to produce music, make my own mixes that are completely wrong. And every professional engineer would say I do everything wrong I can do. And I've had people, I respect Steve Duda, for example, very much. He's one of the, like technically one of the best in the industry. I would say he knows everything. And I had him explain to me what I do wrong. You know, which doesn't mean it's wrong because there's no right or wrong in music. It works for me, so I do it. Yeah. And I like it better than doing it the right way. But I would tell people, you know, just work a lot. Like I produced a lot till I had a sound that was good enough. Don't expect to be perfect after 2 months. Like, you know, it takes time, and you just work at it and do it a lot. And in the first place, do it because you love it, and don't do it because you want to be a DJ and be traveling a lot. It really depends on, you know, there's DJs like Tiesto who will use the mic maybe once to introduce themselves for whatever reason, and they will make the crowd go crazy for 2 or 3 hours without ever using the mic. And there are DJs like Skrillex, although he doesn't use it too much, but you know, there are DJs who love to interact with the crowd. It's both cool. You just have to find kind of your way and whatever you're comfortable with. I don't think there's right or wrong.